Recently, I feel like I've seen a lot of videos critiquing Emma Chamberlain's and Monae McMichael's content, and I think it's just a really interesting phenomenon to get into because I feel like a lot of people are just projecting. So I first started watching Emma Chamberlain when I was a teenager. She was also a teenager at the time, and I just remember being drawn to her content because she just had a really inviting carefreeness about her. And I feel like as a teenage girl, you're so stuck on how other people perceive you. And at the time, it seems like Emma just didn't give a damn. She was loud, she was quirky, she was fun, she was free. And that's when I first started watching her. Now that Emma Chamberlain is not a teenage girl, she seems more reserved in her content. I personally don't watch her anymore. I haven't in years because I simply no longer relate to the content that she makes. I consider myself more so a podcast / documentary type of girly nowadays. But once I found myself not relating to her content anymore, I simply just stopped watching. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that, they have the choice, the option, the free will to just stop watching someone's content if they no longer like it anymore. And so I'm really just referring to this one video that was going viral on TikTok this past month. I'm probably late as fuck with this video speaking on it, but I don't care. But it was going viral on TikTok, and it was essentially this random girl talking about how she's not a fan of Emma's podcast anymore, and she just doesn't sound profound or insightful. And if she would have just left it at that, that would have been fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions and critiques. But then she follows it up by then saying that Emma needs to go back to college because she sounds uneducated. I feel like this is where you go from simply having an opinion to just being a straight up hater. Like, you're just hating. Like, I feel like you're just projecting now, babes. And let's be honest here, technically Emma isn't educated. She didn't go to college, but so fucking what? A lot of people in America do not go to college, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to go to college, and the ones that do go to college, they go either because they believe it'll raise their social status in society, or they simply want more access to opportunities, which is fine. Not everyone that goes to college is going to be an intellectual, and there are intellectuals out there who did not go to college. And not everyone has to be an intellectual. Can you imagine a world out there where everyone's just an intellectual, everything they say is profound, everyone's always having these deep ass conversations about life and purpose and whatever else? Like, that would be the most annoying and aggravating planet to be on. Please make me the first bitch off that planet. It just wouldn't be any types of fun. And I'm not trying to say Emma is dumb or anything, but we need dumbasses in this world. They really spice things up. But I say all this to say that people are mad because Emma is successful, but she's no longer relatable. They refuse to accept that she's no longer this teenage, quirky, loud, funny girl that they once could relate to. Honestly, this isn't even just about Emma. I've noticed there's just always been a trend where whether it's a content creator, celebrity, just a regular person in your life, where you see them at the beginning stages of them like grinding or working really hard to be successful. And, at first they have a lot of supporters around them because, they admire their work ethic. They admire that they're pursuing their dreams. And they could relate to that. Everyone has their own dreams and aspirations. But I feel like once the content creator, celebrity, regular person in your life becomes successful in pursuing those dreams, I feel like that's when there's a shift. And not all supporters, but some supporters start envying them in a way because they no longer can relate to them because now they've gotten to that success. They're living the life, and whether they're aware of it or not, I think it's envy at the end of the day. I think people are just envious of what she has. They see a woman who's not college educated, but still successful. She's living in a multi-million-dollar home. She's attending the Met Gala. She is open and honest about her wealth and how she chooses to spend it, and they hate it. They hate it. They hate it because they feel entitled to her success. They feel like because they were those supporters who did grant her that success, that, you know, Emma still needs to push and make content that they would like. They hate it because they don't have her success. I feel like whether we like to admit it or not, we compare ourselves to almost everyone in our lives, whether we watch them or they're our friends. I think it's just a natural human trait to compare ourselves, and they see themselves either working a 9-to-5 or attending college courses, just living a pretty normal life, doing what they were told to do since the beginning of time. You know, you need to go to school to be successful. You need to work a 9-to-5 to be successful, be financially free. And then they see Emma, who didn't follow that same path as them, who's living it up. I feel like high-key, people are jealous. They're jealous, they're envious. People feel a type of way because they feel like, well, how the fuck is she so successful? How the fuck is she, you know, earning all this money, doing all this, and she doesn't even sound like an intellectual. She's not even making profound statements. And it's like, she doesn't need to. And people are mad at that. Like, she didn't have to go to college. She didn't have to do anything extraordinary. She just did her little videos, made her little edits. Y'all tuned in, y'all watched, and boom, she became successful. And these are the same people sitting here realizing that they made a regular, normal girl successful, and now that they don't deem her as this normal, regular girl, and now that they are the normal, regular girls, I think that they've just turned on her. And I feel like the only thing that they feel that they have against Emma is their college education, which is why you see all these ladies critiquing her about it, because they see that that's the only thing that Emma's lacking and that they have above her, I guess, as if a college education makes you better than the next person. It really doesn't. And I'm all for hating, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love a good hate train when it's for the right person. With this situation, it just seems misplaced. It really feels like this hate train is senseless. And I feel like the only thing that people are entitled to in this situation is just Emma's acknowledgement that they are the reason why she does have access to this success and this wealth. And I haven't seen anything where she doesn't recognize that. But other than that, Emma doesn't owe y'all shit. She can make the content that she wants to make. She's been doing that. She's popular because of that. And it brings me back to my first point of, if you do not like her content, you simply don't have to watch it. Log off. Turn it off. No one's gun to the head forcing you to watch her content anymore. If you don't like it, don't support it. I'm noticing the same pattern with this other creator known as Monae McMichael, another content creator that I don't actively tune into her, but I remember the first time I was introduced to her was on TikTok, while I was just melting my brain one day on that app. And it was one of her get ready with me videos, and she was getting ready for a date with this mysterious man. And I remember everyone in the comments were super supportive of her. They were hyped that she was going on a date. They were super curious to know who this mystery man was. And from that video I saw of Monet, I could tell that she was super charismatic, super fun, super bubbly. So I could see the appeal to her content right away. From then on, I just remember seeing a shit ton more of her content going viral, of her, you know, going on these secretive dates, people getting more curious to know who that man is. And then she finally popped out with Jalen as her boyfriend, and people were still supported up to this point. Like, everyone was hyped. But it wasn't until Forbes released their list of 30 under 30 and they featured Monet in there, stating that she had made $4 million so far from her content creation. See, now when that list dropped, oh, people's public opinions changed. Let me tell you that, okay? Once that list dropped, the shift happened. That is when the shift started to happen. All of a sudden, we're seeing a lot more criticism for Monet. People started critiquing her and her relationship. People started saying that she's out of touch. People started really coming after her boyfriend, saying that they never liked him. They always felt a way about him. He gives them a weird vibe. And I've also seen people talking about how she should have never made her boyfriend like her platform, made her content so focused on her relationship. But it's like, y'all are the same people who were hyping her up and supporting and watching her content when she was first dating this guy. Like, these are the same people who contributed to her success that are now saying, oh, well, she should have never done that. He's a clout chaser, he's this and that. And it's like, let the girl live in peace with her sassy man. If her man is sassy, then she likes sassy. Like, I don't see why it's such a big deal. And I think it's one of those things, again, where similar to Emma Chamberlain, people used to relate to Monet, because I think before she was like just a girl, you know, pursuing nursing. And then, you know, once she was able to become successful in her content creation, you know, she started having access to more exclusive activities, you know, like going to New York Fashion Week. And I just sit here and I'm just baffled on how someone who is about to clock into their shift, their 9-to-5 shift at Target, can relate to someone who's getting invited to New York Fashion Week. And there's nothing wrong with clocking into Target. If you work at Target, I commend you, but 1 + 1 has to equal 2. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're not gonna relate to her content. You're not supposed to relate to everyone in this fucking world, okay? It's just not feasible. It really isn't. I don't relate to her content. I don't relate to Emma's content. I know my place in this world, and I know I'm not getting flown out to New York Fashion Week, and I'm okay with that. It's okay to be jealous. It's okay to be envious of people. I think those are natural human emotions that people feel, but I don't think it's normal to project those things. You just come off lame as fuck and like a hater. You are the same people who supported them and gave them access to this wealth and this success. And now you are the same people that are trying to bring them down. And I just want everyone that is facilitating this to sit down with themselves and really ask, why am I jealous? You don't benefit from hating. You really don't benefit from hating. You're making them benefit even more. I just say all this to say that it's just really interesting to me how there's always that shift of support to hate, and it's going to continue on. I think it's just something that's more common now as we have people that are more open to sharing their lifestyles, and we're in an era where people are wanting to reach a level of living luxury. Luxury content is very popular now. With that being popularized now, and also with the economy being pure dog shit, I feel like there's just gonna be more criticism from people who are envious, but I feel like we're gonna continue seeing this shift happen. It's really interesting to see. Other than that, that's pretty much all I had to say is, like, don't be a hater. See a therapist, talk to the lady.